The COP program is a volunteer organization. It's an organization that's here to for people who's trying to better the city of Chelsea, trying to keep the city safe. It's mostly built of retirees, but we still have some working people, and we give 3 hours a week patrolling our great city. We have several vehicles that's set up with lights, with radios where we can contact each other, talk between ourselves. We have cell phones that we can contact our 911 dispatch if something happens. We are the eyes and ears of our sheriff department. We have contracted deputies on duty that we can contact if we see anything. But we're not cowboys. We do not act on anything that we see. We stand back and just make a call. We are a citywide neighborhood watch. We meet once a month and talk about what's going on. We get reports from our deputies. We get out and train. To be part of the COP program, we don't just give you this great uniform we have and just say, hey, here's some keys and get out there. We go through some training before we get out there. We show you what you need to do, how to patrol, how to get out there and work football games, how to work a traffic problem if you run into one. We go through defensive driving training in Montevallo. We go through CPR and AED. Everybody's trained in CPR and AED training. We go through railroad training, lots of different training we go through. So we just don't throw you out to the wolves and say, here you go. Before you join this great program, we run you through some things to see if there's something you want to do. The age requirement to join the COP, you must be age 30. There are some waivers and different things we can look into, but for the most part, age 30, live in the city or have property in the city. We do a background check on everybody that joins. We send fill out an application. We send your packet over to the sheriff's department, and they do a thorough background check on you before we even work with you.
Well, you have to go back to the beginning of the city of Chelsea. Chelsea was formed back in 1995 and 96, and we had less than 1,000 residents. But we anticipated dramatic growth, which it turned out that's really happened. And we didn't have a police department, we didn't have any money, but we wanted to maintain a safe environment, family-oriented. You know, Chelsea's all about family, so we wanted to maintain a safe environment, and I had stumbled onto an organization in Delray Beach, Florida, where they had a population of 65,000 with 1,200 volunteers augmenting the police department. And I visited with them, and they came up here and visited with us. And we met with Sheriff James Jones at the time, and he agreed to back the program, and the city council and mayor established a resolution in December of 1998 to start this program. So it's been going on for, 22 years now. And I'm amazed personally that it's still going strong. I mean, we've got roughly 40 volunteers, and a good number of them are very active. And like today, we have out 2 patrols, 2 men each. Our vehicles are emergency vehicles. We have 5 in the fleet today. We started using personal vehicles and then evolved with some hand-me-downs from the sheriff's office. Well, Woody actually, I'm not sure how Woody came about because I was not active at that particular time, but Woody started as just an idea of parking out on 280 to try and slow the traffic down. And, people just instinctively put their foot on the brakes when they see him. And he's now driving, as you'll see shortly, a first-class vehicle, and he's in first-class shape himself. He looks like he's been working out, and he's just hot to find some trouble to stop. Well, if it'll continue to do what it's doing, it works with the fire department very closely. we handle traffic, we watch fire hoses, backup fire department, we're on call for the sheriff's department whenever they want. You have lost people, situations like that, we can mount some folks to help in the search. We've actually recovered some individuals that were not wanting to be found for the sheriff's department. And it's just a way to turn out a large number of people that are trained and effective and have the right mental attitude to help out in this kind of environment. At the time we started the program, the fire and EMS were using red lights, the police were using blue lights, and we were in a different category, and we really wanted something distinctive. And the sheriff at the time, Chris Curry, said that we were actually in a security role, and at that time the state of Alabama reserved lighting for security with green lights, and we actually got a trend started. So now you see all the mall security and other security groups are using green lights, and they're distinctive because it's a COP, and yet it's very effective in advertising to traffic that there's a safety hazard ahead or whatever.